Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to going through the family dynamic stuff today. So I'm not going to pay a hell of a lot of attention to the comments today, if you don't mind. What I will do is I will answer them in the comments afterwards, or what I will do is I will send you a personal message, or I will make another video for you, or whatever the case, answering whatever questions you might have. Okay. I have a little bit of a limited time today, and that's why I can't really spend too much time on here. So, okay, let's start. Okay, so family dynamics, like just like unresolved inner child issues, causes so many problems. And in today's live, I'm going to be talking about the role that the parental issues plays in our ability to have, successful relationships, to date successfully, to hold on to our money, and to just be generally happy in life. Okay, so familial stuff really goes very deep, and they show up in in life when kids are hurt, when they're unheard, when they are unexpressed, and so on. So we really learn from our families how to act and how to behave in life. And we learn how difficult or how easy it is to be in business, or we learn how easy or difficult it is to make money. We learn how we should respond in life, how we should act, what we should wear, what we should do, and all of these things, and so much more. So our family dynamics, all the traumas, all the experiences that we've had, these things will really play a really massive role in your life to have an integrated and well-adjusted adult life. So an interesting thing is also we inherit stuff from our families as much as it becomes habits. We also inherit stuff through our DNA from our parents. So our survival mechanisms, do we fight, do we run away, or do we freeze? These things get passed on to us through our parents, through the DNA, and so on. So, all of these things. So we have to contend with our family stuff. We have to contend with the family fights. We've got to contend with, how we feel about our family members, and so on, along with what has been passed on from our DNA from one generation to the next. Okay. So parental issues will even show up to those that have been abandoned from a young age, or those that have lost a parent at a very young age. And this is why I say it gets passed on in various ways, not just from what we learn from them, but also through our DNA. So that's a very interesting thing to experience and to see. So understanding the role that your family plays in your life, in your health, whether it comes to sex, whether it comes to dating, whether it comes to making money, whether it comes to your business, okay, is truly helpful, so that you can absolutely become empowered on the deeper levels. So, we don't then, once we have that understanding, we don't really feel like we're that broken or we're that weird. We really feel a lot less broken and a lot less weird. But this in itself can be really healing and therapeutic, but understanding can only do so much. Okay, this is it, is remember that we as human beings are a whole. You're a mind, you're a body, and you're a spirit, and all of these things go and get stuck in your mind, in your body, and your spirit. It has been found that we even carry trauma in our bodies, and that is a very interesting experience to see indeed, that our traumas, that our unmet needs, that all of these things actually really get stuck in our bodies just as much as it gets stuck in the brain, just as much as it gets stuck in our psyche. Okay. So it's not just enough just to always understand, what this has done or where this comes from. Okay, we need to actively bring healing to the family dynamics. So that, because if we don't, it's very easy for us to start creating this victim storyline around our lives. So, like for example, oh, you know, I'm like this because my mom and my dad taught me this. Oh, I'm like this because my mom and my dad did this to me, or they acted this way, or I was treated this way. And all of these stories keeps us stuck in a terrible loop of victimhood. And this victimhood means that you cannot take responsibility, and that you're just happy to stay in that hole, and it's just going to keep you there for the rest of your life, and you're not going to be able to move on in any way, shape, or form. So it's okay to understand where you're coming from, but it's not okay to get stuck in that victim mindset of, oh, you know, my parents did this to me, or they were like this, and this is why I'm like this. Okay, these things can be shifted and changed. It can, you know, be worked through, and you can change that story. It's really not, you know, you don't have to stay there. You do not have to always be in that victim mode. You can empower yourself. You can conquer the story. You can create a new story actually as well. So, but it's very easy for people to kind of allow the past to determine their future, and it's not necessary. Okay, so victims tend to blame everyone else for their issues and their pain, and they will not take responsibility at all. You know, they will constantly say, I'm this way because. So, and this ends up just becoming another excuse for your actions and your choices. And this is it. We have a choice. In life, we have a choice. I have worked with women and men that has separated, and this is very interesting. I do not teach them to repress their feelings at all, but the moment that they realize that they had a choice not to hate their ex-partner, the moment that they realize that they had a choice, that, you know, and this took work for them to get there, obviously, you know, you can't just go and say, well, you know, there is some work that you need to do to get yourself to that level where you can safely go and say, well, I actually do choose to come from this space. It is a very powerful belief to have. It's a very empowering you know, rule to have in your life, that you have a choice in how you handle things. And a lot of people sit there and tell me, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and I piss a lot of people off because of that. But the people I piss off are the people that are happy to stay stuck in the victim mode, and they're happy to stay stuck in the states of where they are in their stories. I'm sorry, I'm not happy, for me personally, to stay stuck in those stories. They did nothing good for me in the end of the day when I had these stories running around in my mind and in my body. So I chose to actively go, okay, how can I shift these stories? Yes, I learned how to do that. Yes, I went through a massive process of my own, but I will tell you, I'm better off for it. It has enabled me to take a hell of a lot of power back from the past, so that I have this energy free now in the present, so that I can have a better future. So my present, my future is so much better because I get out of those stories. I get out of those lies that I tell myself. And as a result, those neuronal pathways actually break up and they die, and you create these new ones because there's a new pattern being created. All these stories are patterns in your brain. That's it. But the more that you listen to it, the more that you give way to it, the deeper it becomes, the stronger that neuronal pathway becomes, okay? So it's important to really be able to reach that space of authentic empowerment where you can really choose your expression, where you can truly choose your behavior and new expressions, you know, that is absolutely true to you on all levels. The intention is always to change the old patterns so that, you know, they no longer hold you hostage. So some of the ways our parental dynamics play a role is through choosing wrong partners, having the same money stories and patterns as your family, trying to keep someone happy so that they will like you. Okay, so you keep losing money, for example, and I talked about this yesterday. I had a client that would, you know, she could not make money. She would lose money make money, lose money. And it got to such a point where she has absolutely just lost everything. And what happened underneath was that it was a parental thing. Her parents did not approve of her for having a high-powered job. Her parents did not approve of her for being in this what would be called or named a man's job. Okay, it's okay to be maybe a secretary. It's okay to maybe be something. There was this expectation from her parents that she would fail, that she's not good enough for the job that she's currently doing. And there was this part of her, the little girl inside of her, that wanted to make her parents happy. And in order to make her parents happy, she needed to revert back to her old, to the needy little child. She needed to revert back to the little kid that, you know, that was needy, that needed her mommy and her daddy, and that was always being saved. You know, so this is the role that our unmet needs and our family dynamics play, is we go into this space of, you know, you need to revert back so that daddy will save you, mommy will save you, whatever the case might be. And this is where the issue starts coming in, because you end up losing what you want. You lose the money that you want to make. You go into a state of total victimhood. You are incapable of holding on to the things that you want to do. So you know, this is all about trying to keep someone happy. So you will not set up your boundaries, because you don't want to make that person pissed off with you. You don't want to lose this person. So what you'll end up doing is you will absolutely say yes to everything, and your needs will never be met, because you have this absolute terror that this person will not love you any longer based on, you know, what you've experienced. So this is some of the ways that our family dynamics will play a role. Also in terms of sex, you know, we are shamed, we are guilted and shamed around sex. And all of these things are just so unnecessary, and they're just not serving us in any positive way any longer. So it's important to uncover your original blueprint, and to be, you know, to get yourself restored to complete wholeness. Okay, because, you know, your family, you are obviously reacting to your family at this point in a certain way. Because you are reacting to them in that certain way, it's creating all this chaos, it's creating all of this drama, it's creating all of these issues. Okay, and you're just triggering each other the entire time. Okay, and I see this during Christmas as well. Everybody gets triggered over Christmas. I have had so many messages of people saying to me, I don't know if I can cope with my family over this December. And that is because of parental stuff. This is family dynamics coming into play here. And you do not need to be triggered by their stuff, nor do you have to be like them. So, you know, there are 3 fundamental keys that I'm going to teach you today, okay? We all have unmet needs stemming from when we were babies and children. And somewhere or another, all of us had this sense inside of us that we did not have enough love or enough safety, or enough respect, or enough whatever that we wanted. Okay, we didn't have the respect or the belonging or the safety and the other qualities that we needed. Everybody feels that way in some way. So as an adult, you know, we can get our needs met quite fine, because we are adults now. So we know if we don't get respect, we can go get respect somewhere. If we can leave the job and go and get respect somewhere else. If we're not getting, you know, enough love in this relationship, you know, you'll go and find love somewhere else. So as an adult, you have the power to do that. But as a baby, you do not have that. So can you imagine if you're this little baby, you know, and you feel like you don't get enough of what you want, you feel like you're going to die. And this is just it. The main thing for the brain is to keep you alive at all costs, whether it is creating something fake in your mind, okay, fear or whatever, or anxiety or a phobia, whatever it can do to keep you safe, it will do. Okay, so its first job is to keep you alive. So as kids and babies, we felt that we, you know, didn't have enough of our needs met. We just felt that we would die. And we wanted and still want our needs met unconditionally to this day. So now that we are adults, we understand that we are loved, but we know that it's not unconditionally, because there just isn't the capability in any human being to love your partner unconditionally. It's just not possible, okay? Because if you're going to become abusive for long enough and you're going to be an ass for long enough, people are going to ditch you. So if you're going to be smoking crack and you're going to be stealing and you're going to be treading all over people, they're going to get to a point in their life where they are so broken, where they just cannot carry on carrying you any longer. So unconditional love would mean that that person carries you through, right through, no matter how much you've broken them, okay? And I have seen to a degree, but to me that there's a different thing there. I think that there is a codependency in very many of the relationships that I've seen between, let's say, a mom and a child that's become abusive. But in no ways is there going to be the unconditional love and acceptance when you are treating somebody else like a piece of crap, okay? You're gonna get cut off, okay? So we as adults know that. The problem is that, you know, we very many times still operate out of the wounded child, okay? And we will search for partners to meet those needs. So, and we will actually do that with our friends. We will do that with our relationships, our universal relationships. We will be constantly choosing people that will that we will constantly need them to fill our needs, okay? So the problem is that obviously that's not going to happen, because if you choose the people with the same patterns, your needs are still going to go unmet, okay? Your needs will not be met at all, okay? So if there's commitment issues, you know, if any of those things come up, they are based on your unmet needs as a child, your family dynamic issues playing up there. Okay, so you will many times be prone to choose, let's say, partners that don't commit, or you yourself will not be able to commit to somebody. And this plays a huge role in your business, because you're uncommitted in your business, you're uncommitted to your health, you're uncommitted to your friendships, and all of those things. So can you see the pattern, how it plays out in one area of your life? Okay, once you have that pattern in one area of your life, it's going to come forward in various other areas of your life. Okay, so for kids, okay, not getting their needs met is so intense, and it's so insatiable. So when we bring familial work and we release these old patterns, these old wounds, and we are capable of meeting our family from a much different level, you know, when we experience empowerment, we will be less inclined to react to our families, to react to this person that has been triggering us for so long. And new neuronal pathways are created, and you're no longer the victim of the past or the family dynamic. So, and I've seen how anxiety is created due to familial issues, as I've told you before. Agoraphobia, social phobia, just general anxiety, sexual issues like porn addiction, sex obsessions, you know, bad money stories that they carry. It's all due to the old childhood wounding within them. Even the fear of success and failing, all of those things are connected to the wounded child, to the family, you know, dynamics. So when you're meeting your family of origin from the inner child's needs, the wants and the pains and so on, those same dynamics and stories and dramas are repeated over and over and over again. And the irony is that these people are the same people that could not meet your needs. So you're going around in circles, wasting energy on a pointless exercise constantly, okay? We can't heal these wounds through our families, okay? Because they just aren't, most times they're just not available, and they're not capable to do that. And in some cases, when they get older, in some cases, when you're very fortunate, okay, and they've perhaps had some inner work or whatever the case might be, you'll be able to have that conversation with the mom or your dad or both parents, and healing will happen. But that does not happen every single time. Very few parents are available to go through that healing thing, to go through that healing conversation, to admit to their mistakes, okay? They do not see that. So now the interesting thing is that all of this pain and wounding actually contains a lot of gold. You can benefit so much, because we can really rewrite these stories, and you can find so much peace and closure in the end of the day. But these healings contain a lot of gold. So when we have all these unmet needs from the parents running around and occupying our prime property, which is the brain, which is our brain energy, we will end up choosing destructive relationships, for example, or with someone that reminds us, okay, of the offending parent or parents, okay, to try and get our needs healed through them. But here's the thing. They don't know this, and you most likely don't know this either. And this ends up ruining your relationships with your partner, as they aren't capable of giving you that absolute unconditional respect or love or wantedness or whatever it is that you are looking for to get fulfilled. And many times this is also one of the reasons why people choose those really abusive partners, the partner that drinks, the partner that has an addiction, or whatever the case might be, and it's a cycle. So what it is it's called destructive security, because when you understand alcoholic partners, when you understand abusive partners, when you understand neglect, all of these things, it's what the brain knows and understands, okay? So, you'll end up choosing these partners or these clients even that is so wrong for you on various levels. So these relationships obviously run their course. Many of them are super destructive. The aftermath is sometimes so horrible to witness. So, you'll find people that even experience addiction. They will go through points where they become addicted. Now, there's an addiction that very few people know about, and it's called love addiction. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had a client in my office falling to pieces because they suffer from a love addiction because it's based on the unmet needs. Because her family was abusive, or his family would lock him up in a cupboard, or stuff like that, really terrible things. How they would fall to pieces in my office on the floor, sobbing, because they fell in love with somebody from a distance, started stalking them, okay, and the person shows no interest or has a girlfriend, and they are gutted and broken into so many pieces. And this is one of the issues that when unhealed family dynamics is allowed to carry on, when the unmet needs of the child is allowed to carry on, stuff like this gets created. I will at some other point talk more about love addiction, which is a very interesting thing, which is what I work with a lot, because when I have so many single individuals that's got commitment issues, so many single individuals that find themselves in trouble because they've been locked up, because they've got a love addiction, they start stalking someone, stuff like that, and they can't let this person go. They have these absolute obsessions with this person. So, and it really ruins lives just as much as your coke addictions will, your ecstasy addictions, all of your substance addictions will, they ruin your lives. So, okay, carrying on. So, unhealed family dynamics are, also one of the major causes for psychosexual dysfunction issues. So, vaginismus, dyspareunia, all of these things, a lot of times they will play massive roles with people that has these major issues. Sorry about the notifications. I did not realize I had not switched that off. So, when we are babies, our needs aren't met, as I said before. So when not enough attention is given to us, we go into the state of anxiety and fear, because where will my food come from? Where will my safety come from? Where will all of this stuff come from? It is known that when a baby does not get enough attention, that they end up dying. So just to give you an example, many years ago, I was managing a guest house here in South Africa. This is a freaking long time ago. And I met these two people that fostered children, child sex slaves and child rebels in Uganda. And they had an orphanage there. I still don't know if they're still operating, but this was, good 20 years ago now. And they had to teach the fellow caretakers, the people that they employed, to nurture the babies, because in very many of these areas, these people are in such a stricken area. They are in so much dire straits. There's so much pain there that these people don't know how to really take care of these children. And it has been known that these kids end up dying because there's not enough touch, there's not enough safety within that baby to make them feel like they're wanted and loved. So I remember them telling me having to teach their workers, their staff, to nurture, to hold a baby, because they could not hold the baby, they could not sit with a child, give them the attention that this baby so desperately needed after being abandoned in the bushes, and being left there for dead anyway. So kids will, little babies will die when they are not nurtured that way. So as I said to you, that this is an inbred instinct within us, that we need that touch, that we need that our needs filled, that we need, there's attention or whatever the case might be. Okay, so all of these things will really, really play such a huge a factor in your life, like I said, because this kid will go, where am I getting my love from? Where am I getting all of the stuff from, and it becomes such a total emergency in the brain and in the mind. And when we have these strong and intense charges of, you have to give me love, you have to pay attention to me, you have to respect me, it actually really turns people off in the world. So when you're walking around with this, the more you do this, the less they will want to give to you, the less they will want to reach out to you and, help you with your needs. So, I have had friends in my life. I've had people in my life. I still keep in touch with them. And I do my best to come from a space of compassion, of love, of understanding. But here's the thing. I am not that person's mother. I should not be mothering that person. I should not, I would like to love people. And this is it, I love people, but I'm not going to be able to give that person unconditional love the way that they want. And no person can. You see, because all of this unconditional love, all of this stuff, we actually should be meeting ourselves. We cannot expect another person to do this for us. We cannot expect another person to love us unconditionally, to do all those things for us. We need to be able to be secure and strong enough within ourselves to be able to, give that to ourselves. Because once we can give ourselves all of this unconditional love, respect, acknowledgement and acceptance, once we are capable of doing that, we will not constantly go out and search for these people, these friendships. It constantly lets us down. It constantly creates even more depression, that creates more disconnection, that creates more trauma in our lives and more drama and more unnecessary pain. When we have been able to heal that, we will be less inclined to go and look for those things. We will, in fact, not really be bothered by those things any longer as we used to. It won't trigger us as badly as we used to get triggered. So, when we haven't healed our inner child and our family dynamics, this is just going to carry on creating more cycles of drama. And I see this on Facebook every single day. Boy, oh boy, is that very evident when somebody has inner child and victim mentality and the way that they will write to somebody. I have seen that over and over and over and again, and I just go, wow, this yells and this screams so loudly that this person has unmet needs. Because in the end of the day, when you get triggered by another individual, it is because it's not because of the person, it is because of you. Okay, it's your unmet needs, it's your shadow, it is your pain, it's your family stuff that is coming up, it's your triggers, it's your patterns that is being tested and tried over and over again. So unfortunately, these things really damage a lot of people. So there's just so much happening there. So Harville Hendricks talks about, how we will teach, and this is a guy with a PhD. He talks about how we will choose partners and friends and bosses and clients and people that resembles, our caretakers in some way. But once again, as I said to you earlier, here's the kicker, okay? Is these people are so hurt themselves, that you're not going to get healed by interacting with them, by having them in your life. You are not going to get that healing because they're incapable. They are incapable. That cycle is going to run over and over and over again because it's what it does. But if you're capable of coming from a space of love, when you've come from a space of where you've healed the inner child, where you've healed the family dynamics, these things will not play a role any, like it used to. Okay, for many people it doesn't even feature any longer. So remember that these are all patterns, and these are all triggers that we have in the brain. So all of this stuff, creates, your jealousy and your insecurity and your drama, and it creates your freaking out over little things. Maybe somebody sent you a text message or didn't send you a text message. Maybe someone, wanted to go Dutch while you were having dinner, and you feel automatically abandoned, and all of these stuff gets really triggered in us because of the unhealed family dynamics and the wound in a child. Okay. So all of these ungrounded emotions are just flying all over the place, and you absolutely don't know where you are going, what you are doing. You don't know which way to go. You don't know what to let go. You don't know what to grab. So this creates deep, deep, deep terror, okay, of being deeply intimate with people. So we create these walls around our hearts where we are just not capable of loving and experiencing deep intimacy on a very special level. So if someone is giving you what you need, you have this absolute deep terror and fear that you will lose that person. So many people will put up even bigger walls where they will not allow themselves to have this deep bodily spiritual love with somebody because they're so scared of being hurt. They are so scared of being abandoned again and being thrown away, okay? And the same with friendships. They will put up this I'll have you as my friend, but I'm going to keep you at an arm's length, and that's it, because I cannot bear to lose somebody. And that's all due to those unmet needs. And it creates all this terrible pain and drama in someone, okay? So, we're perhaps terrified of losing our jobs, or we're terrified of losing our friend, or being rejected by a friend, or you're terrified, of losing your partner or lover and that they're going to leave you. So there's all these little ways, and we end up actually creating that where we do lose them. Or, we become too much for that individual, and then we do lose them. We become too jealous, too possessive, too, and then we do lose them. And that's the sad thing about this, is whatever we're trying to do instinctively here by being, holding on, becoming more needy and becoming more clingy, all of these things are actually counterproductive for us in the end of the day. The same with your work. When you're incapable of saying no, you become burnt out, tired, and you cannot pour from an empty cup. What do you end up doing? You become ill, or you become resentful, and you hate your job, you hate your clients, you hate all these people. And at the end of the day, those things actually collapse anyway. So we have these terrors flooding our bodies and our minds and our spirits, okay? And that's all thanks to these unmet childhood needs. So, and here's the thing is we end up feeling like we are going to die. I remember breaking up from one of my boyfriends that I thought I loved him. It was really just so much lust. Your puppy love? I remember this terror, what I felt in my body. I felt like I was going to die when we were breaking up. And that is just that because I chose him from unmet needs. He resembled one of my parents, and I chose him due to unmet needs. So the moment that he got enough of me, because I became so clingy and so needy and so jealous, when he had enough of me, and he said to me, "That's it," I lost all reason. Like, I had no capability of thinking straight. And this is what happens, this is terrible. And looking back, I recognize that I had to some degree a bit of a love addiction. And as I healed it over the years, as I got through all of the pain, as I worked through all of the stuff that I'd gone through, I was capable of moving on and not having those terrible attachment disorders, So what are the best ways to work with this? Well, you know what? There's so many ways to work with this, you know, but number one, there's a few things that you need to recognize. Is that you've got to recognize that no one on the outside can meet your needs unconditionally. Nobody can go in and heal your childhood pain on your behalf. There are two sources, and there might be more, okay, that can really start to help with this. But what I've experienced and what I've found is that there's been two very, very most powerful sources in my own life. And it was me that I realized I alone have unconditional respect, unconditional love, unconditional wantedness, unconditional belonging for myself. Okay, I could offer those parts of me, or that part of me that was in so much pain. I could offer those things that I did not have. Okay, and this is what you need to recognize too. And you can develop the source within you. This is a resource that you can be developed. You can develop what you need and what you want. And this enables you to wake up to the higher capacity and higher emotions that is inside of you, you know, where you don't need to become the victim of these emotions that's going to take you flying all over the place. Okay, so the other source of unconditional love, respect, and belonging, and so on is spiritual. So it's either God or goddess or universe or spiritual or the great spirit or whatever it is that's in your map. Okay, and this relationship will really deeply and profoundly uplift you in various aspects. So the thing is, it depends on how you look at it. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are atheists, and this is why I say you can work with your unconscious or your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind has absolutely unconditional love for you on every single level. So does spirit, so does God, so does the universe. Whatever is in your universal map of love, you can use that. Okay, so if you can recognize and truly feel that you are loved, that you belong, that you know that you are safe, regardless of what you've experienced, regardless if you had that safety from other people, regardless if you had that safety from friends, from family, from wherever or not, that you can still create that within yourself. Okay, it starts with you, and you can feel safe and secure. So, you know, I realize that for many, there will be resistance because, you know, I remember when somebody told me, well, you know, you have power over this. I went, no, I don't. I need that love from my parents, and I will hang on to this, you know, grudge that I have. And it hurt me more in the end of the day when I realized that I was hanging on to this grudge. Well, the moment that I could give myself over and start healing and start releasing, and the moment I let that resistance go, okay, and I realized that my mom and my dad cannot heal that pain for me that I have, that I'm the only person that can heal that pain, that through my spiritual practice or, you know, working with my subconscious mind, whatever it is that, like I said, is in your map of love, that was where I found so much healing for my own spirit, my soul, and my body. Okay, this frees you up to a more deeper and happier life, and it makes healing so much easier when you can let go of that resistance, when you can let go of that, but I need my parents to make reparations to me because they treated me like shit, or, you know, I hate my family because they could never understand me. Here's the thing, you have a choice. You have a choice to let that go. You have a choice to heal, to have a connection with yourself where you can give yourself that unconditional love and respect, wantedness and love and belonging that they couldn't give you because they were not available. They didn't know how, and they will not know how for as long as who knows. And this is up to you in the end of the day to make that solid decision. What are you going to do with this? How are you going to do this? Okay, you're going to take this, you're going to keep holding back, hold yourself back from having that happy life, or you're going to carry on, you know, being miserable, or you're going to allow yourself to start healing that child and the family dynamics that you've got, so that you don't get so triggered over Christmas and holidays and family get-togethers, you know, anything like that. And that you can truly create that safety and security within yourself to handle them and their triggers and all of that. So, you know, you have to realize one thing, that the past is never coming back. Now, in Vikings, when Ragnar takes his sons with him, sorry if I'm going to spoil something for someone here, but I've finished watching Vikings by now. You know, his son looks back, and Ragnar says to his son, "Stop looking back. We're not going that way anymore." And here's the thing that is an absolute truth: the past is not coming back. You're not going to be able to make reparations. They're not going to be able to make reparations with you. They're not going to be able to fix and give you that unconditional love when you were 6.5 months old or whatever. They're not going to take back that hiding. They're not going to take back when they spoke harshly to you. They're not going to be able to do any of that, okay? One of my great mentors and teachers always says, once you've been fucked, you can't ever be unfucked. Sorry to those that's sensitive about it. I do swear a lot. I've been behaving myself in these lives. I just thought, okay, I need to tone it down a little bit. I am swearing way too much at this point. But and that's the truth. You know, we have to understand that the past is never going to be coming back. You're never going to be 2, you're never going to be 6, you're never going to be 5 again, okay? And I wish there was better news to give you, okay? But that's the truth. But there is still great news, though. It is really possible to heal, really, really deeply heal these patterns that have been hurting you and that's been putting you into pain, okay? And it doesn't need to be difficult. So much can happen in a short period of time. So much healing can happen in a short period of time. And there are really magnificent ways out there to help you come back to yourself again, to let go of the past. So, guys, I really hope that today's live, you know, has brought some clarity to you in some way. And, you know, if you're interested to hear more, if you're interested to, you know, for us to do an assessment and see, you know, what's been happening and what's been alive for you in your life, I'm going to paste a link in the you know, the family dynamics, what it is and how does it affect your life. It's going to be below that. I'm going to post a 20-minute assessment link there for you, and you're very well to connect with me, and we can just discuss what is your needs, what is it that you're struggling with, and I'm so happy to give you that time. I would love to get to know you. It would just be amazing. Like I said in last night's live, I am on this journey this year to get to connect with people, to, you know, to really get to know the people that is on my Facebook. The only way that we can do that is through communicating, through chatting. So I really hope that you learned something from today's live. I hope that it's brought something home, that you have a little bit better clarity on what's happening for you in your life. And I truly, truly, truly look forward to, you know, get to know those of you that's been on the live. So yeah, let me just see. There might be some comments here that you guys have to pardon me. My comments for some reason does not scroll down by itself. I don't know if that is meant to do. Yeah, Kadal, see you. Sorry guys, that's Witch. Come say hello. She's 19, you guys. Come. And she announces herself. Like, at night, I'd be sleeping, and like we're talking about 3 a.m. This is Witch, for those of you that hasn't met her yet. At night, she has unmet needs that I have to attend to. She's unmet needs right now, and she knows how to get her needs met, doesn't she? She's like, meow, 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 meow. So at 3 a.m., she comes and she announces herself. She really does, like loud and clear, all the way from the door up until she's on the bed. She announces herself, like, Mom, wake up, I have unmet needs, I'm cold. So she's she knows how to get her needs met, for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate that, and I look forward. I will be announcing the next live very soon. I was going to say very shortly, but it went, no, you can't have my tea. Sorry. She insists on having my tea. I'll be announcing that very, very soon. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Mwah! Love you guys for being here. Looking forward, and please send me any comments or messages in Messenger. I will do my best to either make you a little video or reply back as I can. And the 20-minute link will be put in. Hang on, let me actually do that now. So sorry guys, let me just quickly put in a link now. If you would like to talk about it, you know, do a little bit of an assessment, I'm happy to do an assessment with you, see where the family dynamics are playing a role in your life, and so on. All right, so there is my 20-minute assessment link, but I will put it into the top as well, so you've got it there. So guys, have a wonderful morning, have a wonderful afternoon, have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful everything, guys. Oh, Juliana, I'm so happy. Yeah, I love talking to you too. You're an amazing woman. So that, keep your eyes on that woman, guys. She's going to be, she was built for success. Built for success. So I'll speak to you ladies and to you gentlemen a little bit later. Mwah! Love you all. Have a good one. Bye.